Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly webinar. And we're going to talk today about build your Facebook audience. One second, there are a few things happening on my screen. Okay, here we go. So, before I start, can I please, I have the feeling you may all are kind of familiar with the webinar and how we do this. Can I see your hands, please, so you let me know that I can actually understand you? Okay, it looks like you actually cannot hear me. Okay. Okay, hello. Can you guys hear me? And if you hear me, can you please use the hand raise function to let me know that you can actually understand me? Okay.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly webinar. We talk today about build your Facebook audience. My name is Mirko Rutgers. I'm a digital coach and I work for Tourism and Events Queensland. Just a quick check. Could you please click on the little button that's called raise your hand so I understand that you're actually all there and you can hear me? Yep, excellent. Thank you. I can see the hands are coming up. Great. Thanks for that. Okay, excellent. We have a big webinar on today, and that is usually a big workshop that we deliver in 2.5 hours. So I had to reduce a bit if to put it into a webinar for today. And so if you have any questions in the end, please feel free to ask me if there are some gaps in terms of your content or knowledge or misunderstandings. Feel free to call me, or feel free to email me, or send a message through here. Okay, just let you know, I try to give you a nice overview today about Facebook and how to work with Facebook from a business perspective, and the different things that you have to think about, work on to actually make it work for your business. These 4 things that we're going to talk about is certainly first, function and features of your Facebook page. We talk about how to get more fans. We will talk about how to actually create good content that is engaging. And in the end, finally, how to reach the friends of our fans. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So these are the 4 steps we're trying to cover today. And for those of you who haven't attended before, our housekeeping rules: you are muted, so no one can hear you. I can't hear you either. So that means you can work, you can talk to your colleagues, you can use your keyword if you wish. That's fine. If you have any questions, please type in a message into the question panel that you should have through our webinar system. And I'll let you also know that this webinar is going to be recorded and will be published on our website, tq.com.au/digital ready. And we have also already uploaded our first 4 webinars that we have held earlier this year. So that is a good resource if you have missed any webinars so far. Okay. Good. Let's start. Why use Facebook in Australia? I'll give you a quick screenshot in terms of who is there and what are they doing. We know that more than 55% of the Australian population is actually on Facebook. That means they have an account. This means we have many people using Facebook on a regular basis. And if we look a bit more into the statistics, we can actually see it is 50-50 almost between female and male. So that is good. And you can see also on the left-hand side of the screen here that the main groups, or the biggest age groups on Facebook are obviously between 18 and 44. Saying this, the group on this left in this beige over here, yeah, up to 54 years old, they are the fastest growing customer group on Facebook. So this tells us that even older generations are actually going to be on Facebook, and as I said, fastest growing generation or fastest growing user group on Facebook, we will reach those people very soon, and it will be an important user group to reach on Facebook. Okay, a heads up of who's there and how many people we can reach on Facebook in Australia. So, as I said, we have 4 steps to cover today that we have that we go through. We will see what do we need to do in terms of building a Facebook page. We will see and how we can connect with fans who use Facebook, for example, through ads or apps. We will then talk about how to engage fans with quality content, and finally, how to influence friends of our fans. Okay, let's get started. This is a screenshot of one of our Facebook consumer-focused Facebook pages, and something really important that is for you, or if you create your own Facebook pages, is the cover photo at the very top. This cover photo needs to be very impressive. It should be one of your hero shots. It should explain your product or your service or the destination. It can be a lookout, it can be your product, it can be a scenic photo, something that is really impressive. This banner up here is important for the user to like your page or not. If this is impressive, your product is impressive, I have a reason to like you. If you have no photo or cover photo or a crappy one, that means as well that you have a crappy Facebook page and a crappy product, and that's something we do not want to get across. We need a very impressive photo up here at the very top. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, you need a unique profile picture. This picture over here will appear on your fans' news feeds. So all your messages that you post on Facebook will be attached to your profile picture, and this picture will appear on, if I like you, on my news feed. So I need to understand, as soon as I see your profile picture, who that is. I need to remember, alright, I know who this is. This can be simply a nice picture where people say, yep, I know who that is. That can be your logo or your brand, whatever works best for you. Just make sure this has a unique character. Further down, what are the features and functions of my Facebook page? We have here a description of your business. Make sure that you fill this out with a nice, easy to read description so people can easily see whose Facebook page is this and what are they talking about. What is their product and what is going to be or what's going to happen on this page. Yeah. If you have a good description on your website so far, just use this one and copy and paste it into this little description over here. And then further to the right, we see something that we call views or apps. This is effectively your content. Your content that you can attach to Facebook, to your Facebook page. For example, we have a Pinterest profile on the right hand side. We have Instagram application here. We have a unique welcome page that simply just explains what we do at Tourism and Events Queensland and which regions we have within Queensland. So we explain this to the consumer in this little app over here. You can have up to 12 apps underneath. Only the first 4 are going to be displayed, and you can rearrange those apps in the order. So you can connect different apps like Twitter, TripAdvisor. If your booking system has a Facebook integration, you can put your booking system on here as well. TripAdvisor, as I said, you can connect Instagram. You can have weather apps if that's needed. There are many, many apps that you could use that are free to use. Or if you're on any competitions, upload a photo and win a prize. And this is something that would appear in this area as well. Further down, this is where you create posts or you upload new photos, and something that is blended out here because I'm not the admin of this page. Here you'll find something called offers and milestones, something we're going to talk about later as well. Right hand side, you will see, in this case, this is a user view. I can see who of my friends is actually liking this page as well. Okay, and down here, we already see this is the first post that belonged to this Facebook page. And in this case, it is a very white one, which we call the highlighted post. So it just appears really big. Okay, this is effectively your features of your Facebook page and how you should start if you create your new Facebook page. Let's start a bit more content and how this should be done. On this screen, we see a few content examples. The two top ones, the Starbucks example and the seaplane on the right-hand side. They always, as you can see, we play with images, or Starbucks in this case plays with images. Images are highly important. You always need images for every single post. Images will generate more engagement always. If you think about how people actually use Facebook, for example, about who use a mobile device to use Facebook and to see what's happening, they will scroll through the screen and you can only make them stop because you're competing with all the other information on there if you have a great image that it looks interesting and it looks fancy, funny, entertaining. Doesn't really matter. You need to make sure it is attracting. So people stop, they see the picture and they want to know more about it. And then people start reading the text and the content that is attached to it. Okay, something you always want to reach if you create content is that people, that your customers, that your fans like, comment, or share. You want people to engage with your content, and they can do this only through these three functions, these clicks: like, comment, and share. So every post that you generate, every post that you post on Facebook should have a goal, and that goal is either please like this post, please comment on it, or please share my image, share my video. So whatever you do, what you're after is that people like, comment, and share your content. Because that's why we use Facebook, to get this virality, so people start sharing our content to people that we haven't talked to before. As we can see here, what we have reached with that image with the seaplane over here, we have 1,600 people liking it. We have 116 comments. That's what we wanted. On the bottom left side, you see this is something called a milestones, and this milestone is was produced by Coca-Cola, and they went back on their timeline on Facebook and created a milestone in 1886. So you can go back, especially if you have a company with historic background, or if you have many pictures of how your product developed in the last years, go back and create milestones on Facebook and let your customers or your visitors know who you are and how you develop your product. When Coca-Cola started to fill out for a milestone for almost each single year, down to 1886, I found myself watching and reading the Facebook timeline for more than 20 minutes. And I was, oh, Mika, what are you doing here? Obviously, this is working. People are interested. If you have good content of your history, put it on there. Put it on Facebook, create milestones, and deliver a nice impression about your product. Okay, again, everything you want is like, comment, and share with all the content you publish. Okay, nothing works really without a strategy. If we talk about social media, especially Facebook, we need a strategy to get the most out of it and to make it work. So what do we need? What is our goal when we work with Facebook? We want engagement. We want that people engage and work and interact with our content that we publish. We're talking about our existing fans. That's what we try to reach. And after that, if we can see that our existing fans somehow work and interact with our content, we reach virality, because these people then share our content. Sorry, my Outlook is coming up with something, and you cannot see my screen, I think. It's asking me to enter a password. Alright, anyway. Here we go. Can you see my screen again? Let me quickly see. Yep, looks good. Outlook is asking me all the time to enter a new password, so I'm going to do this later. As I said, what we want is engagement, and then people share our content and we get more virality. That's what we want. To reach this, we need a strategy, and we start with content. It is the key for a strategy for Facebook is always your content. You need a content that is valuable for your customers, that is interesting to read, has an engaging character, has an entertaining character. For example, news, great images, scenic images, yeah, funny videos of animals, videos of your product. Yeah, 300 degrees videos, for example, if you have an accommodation product. Anything that works. Campaigns or competitions. Anything that is somewhat interesting need to be created, or you can even search for content on other Facebook pages, like go on the Facebook page of Tourism Australia or Tourism and Events Queensland, and share our content and put it on your own Facebook page through the share button, because then you know, yeah, already know this content kind of is working, and you have a nice source where to get this content. So content is one key, one pillar to increase your engagement and your virality. But you also need a good fan base. If you have good content but only 20 people liking your Facebook page, there's not much happening in terms of virality or sharing. So you have to make sure, however you talk to your customers, you actually make sure that you talk about Facebook, that you're on Facebook, and tell them what you do on Facebook. What kind of content do you publish on Facebook, to actually tell them there's a benefit of liking me. There's a benefit, there's a value of if you like my page because I deliver this kind of information or this content or this competitions or discounts or promotions or whatever it is. And from there, we need to make sure people engage with our content. That means we need to create the content in a way that people are motivated to like, to comment, to share, or somehow to click in our content and to participate. And this is something I'm going to demonstrate just in a second when we talk about content a bit more. Okay, so let's start with how can we make sure that we get more fans on our Facebook page, that they like our Facebook page. There are two ways that how we can do this. This is either through apps, for example, a competition or a photo competition, a lottery, a quiz, a voting, and to participate in that, people need to like our page, or through ads, Facebook ads. Facebook ads work very similar to Google AdWords. You effectively buy a space on the right-hand side for your ad, and this is going to be published or displayed to your target group. Now, this is something I like to demonstrate how that works, as we can reach a lot of people, and we can target our people really, really well. Okay, here's an example. We're looking for a Facebook page, and we know our audience is female. They live in Brisbane. That's where we want to target our audience, and that's where we want to present our ad. We know that our audience usually is female because they are the ones who have booked the holiday in our case, and we live on the Sunshine Coast. So our product's on the Sunshine Coast. So how do we target our people? Here's an example of what we did on Facebook ads as an example. We said, okay, display our ad only to Facebook users in Australia, which is 11 million. To display an ad to those 11 million, that would be very expensive, of course, and not very targeted. So we go down and say, please go only to people who live in Queensland, and then only in Brisbane. So we only target people who actually say on Facebook in their settings that they live in Brisbane. Then we split it in half and say, okay, we only display our ad to female or women. And then we say, actually, I know that most of our customers are somehow engaged or married. And let's say if you have, let's say, a honeymoon or a product or a romantic getaway, yeah, you could say, okay, most of my customers are usually engaged. So we go for this target and say, only display information or our ad to women who are engaged and live in Brisbane. And if they have said they like the Sunshine Coast, that's our end of the targeting. Because we tell Facebook almost everything about our lives. We tell them where we live. We tell them if we are engaged or married or divorced, how many children we have. We also tell them what we like and what our interests are. Every time we go on Facebook and we click on a page and we like the page, this page belongs to a category, an interest. So Facebook knows quite well what we like, what we don't like. So Facebook can tell us who likes the Sunshine Coast, who likes hot air ballooning, who likes football, who likes soccer, who likes everything, sailing, snorkeling, beaches, the Gold Coast. This is something we tell Facebook every day while we are on Facebook engaging with content. And this is something we should make use of, because Facebook tells you straight away how many people you can reach in a specific destination. So in this case, you can see we have 720 people. This is our target audience. That means our ad on Facebook will be displayed to a very specific small target group. And that means we only spend kind of $700, maybe less dollars to get 700 new fans if we want more likes. It is about 80 cents per click, and a click always gives you a like if you're after likes. You can also promote content if you have good content and just say, display my content, I only want the impression. Or you go for the click, so you want the like, whatever you want to do. This is something I would give it a try. So if you go to your own Facebook page, there's obviously a green button on the right hand side, create an ad. You don't need to fill in anything. You just go in there and create a demonstration and a demo ad and use the target functions. You can even go and say, I only want to target people who like my page. I only want to target friends of people who have liked my page. Or I want to target people who have a PhD degree or a college degree. There are so many different features and functions to narrow down a specific target group. It is really, really great. So if you understand your audience really well and you know their interest, you can find this interest group on Facebook as well, and you can create an ad for that on Facebook to this audience. And we experience quite well that people actually start liking a simple ad on Facebook if it appears in their newsfeed. So getting more fans using Facebook ads is a really good solution and an easy way to find a target group that will like your Facebook page and will also like your product. Based on the targeting, you can find those people who will like your product. So where will Facebook ads appear? You probably have seen that yourself before. It doesn't matter where it is. It will appear on the right hand side. That's the traditional way. But it will also appear in the middle of your newsfeed. For example, sometimes you suggested post, promoted content, promoted post, a page you may like. These are little ads from others. Based on their targeting, they have reached you, and it will disappear in your content. It also appears, of course, on mobile devices, and if you have more than 5,000 likes, you can even buy the logout screen on the end of Facebook, what we can see on the right hand side. So this is where ads are going to appear. So important as well, you can always monitor your ad. You can say how much money you want to spend, for example $10 per day, $50 per month. You can say how long this ad should run, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 day. You can also find out who is actually seeing it, how many clicks do you have. I have a screenshot here as you can see. So they tell you quite well how your ad is performing and working. And if you think this is a good way to do and test, use a test budget, $20. Go for a very, very small target group and find out if it's working for you or not. So if you want to read more about Facebook ads, there's actually an ads manager guide that you can just actually Google. Google for Facebook ads manager guide. You will find this PDF, the link I have presented down here. It's a nice, good document that explains quite easy how to use Facebook ads in detail. Okay, so as I said before, the second way to create more or to find more fans is using apps. You can use apps just for content, as we will see right here, and you can use competitions, but you can only access those competitions through liking a page. So we have two different ways. So apps is additional content first. For example, up here, this is the I think the Hilton, and the Hilton they have actually included their booking engine on Facebook. It's integrated, so I can find out rates, I can see availability, and I can even create or make a booking on Facebook, on their Facebook page. On the right hand side as well, what we can see here, we have the welcome page that I talked earlier about, or down here we have a whale watching special with some education for very specific target groups. You can add a YouTube channel if you have one and connect all your social media channels on Facebook. Yep. And You can also, if you, for example, work with some online marketing or digital newsletter marketing tools, like here with MailChimp, you connect those MailChimp applications with Facebook as well. So people can subscribe to your newsletter system while they're using your Facebook page, and you can promote your newsletter system on Facebook and link straight to it. Or on the right hand side, this is a whale watching guy actually in New Zealand, and they decided to use a free weather app. This weather app tells the customers on Facebook how will the weather be the next day or in the morning. Is it worth it to go out for whale watching or not? And this is a reason for them to come back to their Facebook page and to engage with their content. And it will give them a decision maker to, is it time for whale watching this morning or not? So here are just a few ideas what you can do and how you can put on your apps section on your Facebook page. Another way is to use a competition. This competition is from tropical North Queensland. They actually had a budget for that. I think a couple of $1,000 in, I think. What it did is, so about saying this, you don't need to spend that much money. There are third-party applications, third-party websites that have those applications ready to go. You just have to register with them. You pay, for example, $30 for a 2 weeks campaign, and you can run your own campaign with your own content to your own audience. For example, just $30, all ready to go. You just Google, for example, Facebook third-party competition, and you will find at least 3 links to a really good third-party companies who will provide you with competition applications. So back to TNQ, what they did, they said, okay, we offer an ultimate adventure crew, and you can win a 10-day trip. But to access this competition, you need to like the page. So they have the like button up here. I click on this like button, and then I get access to this competition, what we can see here on the right hand side. The next step is to select a crew, as they say here, and that's what I did. I selected my Facebook friends, a few of my closest friends, and said, okay, you are my crew. Now you are my adventure crew, and I hope if I win this trip, we are 10 days in tropical North Queensland to have a nice adventure. So this was a funny part. It was actually funny to see names connected with those little animals over there and to create this crew for me. But what else happened? Of course, I had to enter my my crew name, my details, my phone number. So Tropical North Queensland is not just getting my like, they also get my email address and my phone number for further marketing. After that, I successfully entered my crew, and now what happened? Of course, all of my friends got a notification that said, hey, you are on my crew, and we are going to win, or we're hopefully going to win a holiday in tropical North Queensland. Why don't you create your own crew? Please put me into your crew as well, because I want to be on there as well, and participate as well. So we had a nice snowball effect here, because people just shared, you are my crew, create your own crew, and they had to like this page as well. So I think they got about 12,000 more likes out of this competition, and targeted an audience that is most likely to travel to tropical North Queensland. Yeah, this went down to Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. And this was a really nice competition that worked really well in terms of generating more fans that are interested in tropical North Queensland and their content, their products, their destination. This one is not live anymore. It happened last year, but you can go to the Sunshine Coast or to Cairns Airport. They, I think, have live competitions on right now in an easier way, where you just fill out a form, you go into a draw, but you have to like the Facebook page first to get access to this competition if you want to see how it can look like in another case study. Okay, so next part is to actually, once we get those fans, we need to engage with quality content. Yeah, you have to make sure that you have content in place, ideally in a content plan or a content schedule, so you know exactly when to post what kind of content on which day or which week. Because what happens if you get so many fans? Their attention is high. They're motivated to interact and engage with you on your Facebook page. So make sure you have content in place that appeals to them, so you actually start getting this or working with this momentum and you generate more engaging. So we know you should, to get the most out of Facebook, post on a regular basis, something between at least 2 to 3 times per week. Here at Tourism and Events Queensland, we post 3 times a day. Simply we know that this is the best amount of posts per day to reach the most people all over the world. But of course we have a team after this, and we have more than 500,000 likes, so we have a lot of content that we can actually share with them. You don't need to do this that often, but something between 2 to 3 times per week is something that will work quite well for the beginning. Okay, important as well, use your insights to optimize your page and your page content. Facebook Insights will give you a nice overview of when do people engage the most on which content. So you can see and go back to each single content that you publish on Facebook and find out how many people engage with this content, how many do not. And then you can find out what kind of content works well for your audience and which content does not work well. Well, based on that, you can optimize your content strategy for Facebook. Important is that you always use high quality content, in terms of have a good image and a funny text or an engaging text or a connecting text. I will show you an example in just a second. And Facebook itself, Nick in Sydney actually said many lightweight interactions over time is the best content for Facebook. Yeah, and that actually means something where people do not have to think about what you're telling them. Yeah, it is a bit sad, but yeah, it is about entertaining. I don't want to use my head. I just want to read and have a laugh or enjoy or do a wow, and that's what I want. That's what people like on Facebook. Here's an example. We published this actually in over a year ago. This tiger cubs from the Gold Coast. And as I said before, images work well. Images make people stop while they scroll through the newsfeed. So this image obviously made many people stop because it's a very cute image, and we know that the little baby animals always work quite well for our audience. And then we had a very short text, which was effectively just a question. In this case, do we have any naming suggestions? And you can imagine this went viral. As we can see here, after 24 hours, we had 824 comments. Yeah, we had, I would say, 823 were naming suggestions. We also had 600 shares, and 2,700 likes 24 hours later. So this is a very successful post, and you can see here the image works well with the text on the top here. So always somehow play and connect the image with your text over here, so people have a reason or are motivated to click on this button. Yeah, either like, comment, or share. In this case, of course, do we have any naming suggestions? Was a motivation to comment on this picture. Of course, the best thing you can get is a share, because that means they use your content and they create a separate or a parallel story on their own newsfeed, and they can talk about that kind of content with their friends, but it's all linking back to your Facebook page, and that's what you want. Yeah, the share is the ultimate reward that your fans can give you for your content that you create. So if you can reach that, if you can get there, that will be a good job. Okay, and that's something we can see here. We shared top Outback Adventures, and that's actually quite a while ago. And this person actually shared this adventure, this comment or this picture, and created a separate story next to ours. And people or his own friends are actually talking about him, about this event, our event. So they're talking about our story somewhere else where we can't control it anymore, in a parallel a news feed. And that's what we want. We want that people share our story, our content, and they talk about our stories and about our products and our content events with their own friends, and that's what we want to reach. Another example on the right hand side, someone shared a story or a photo from us and it somehow made it to Russia. I don't know exactly what they're saying about it, but it doesn't really matter because they, as long as it's positive of course, but these guys suddenly started a separate story about our content somewhere in Russia, and that's what we want. We want to reach people that we haven't reached before, and they start talking about us, always linking back to our content. That's exactly what we want and why we use Facebook to get this happening. Okay, so what can we do to reach more people? Let's say if you have 100 fans, you usually will not reach 100 or 100% of your fans with one single post. One, because these people or a few of your fans might not be online, and when they got back online, the content of you is somewhere really way down. They don't have the time or the patience to scroll all through the content that happened in the last days. So we'll always miss people that are not online. And on the other hand side, Facebook also has a filter in place based on the user's interest. I might not be interested in, let's say, bird watching, and Facebook understands quite well what I'm interested in and what I'm not interested in. So if one page that I like is something posting about a topic that I'm not interested in, Facebook actually is not displaying that piece of content to me, trying to understand, okay, this person is not interested in that kind of content, so we are not displaying that content. So in average, we usually reach something between 40, maybe 50% of our audience. Importance here that you have different content all the time about different topics, so you reach everyone somehow of your fans. If you think I actually have really good content and I'm promoting, for example, a sales, a promotion or a competition or just good content, you can use something that's called promote this post. They change this to boost post. And you can start with $5. You can click on here and say, yep, I am happy to pay, or I'm willing to pay $5, and Facebook will display this piece of content to a bigger audience. What we can see here on the right hand side, we used a promotion to say we want to promote this content, and we have reached another 221 people through with paying $5. You can pay more than $5, and Facebook will somehow tell you how many people you approximately will reach based on the money you're spending. Sorry. Oh. So, and Facebook also tells you how many people actually of your own fans have seen this post, and how many people you are not connected to, your virality, have seen your post. Right. You can do this with generally the post of the last 3 days to get the most out of it. And you need 100 likes to actually use this kind of service. This certainly makes sense sometimes if you have good content or something important to talk about, something important for your audience to tell, to use it here and there sometimes. You don't have to promote each single content that you put on Facebook. That would cost you a fortune actually. Okay, this is another way how we can influence our friends of our fans. We try to reach more of our fans, and that way our content will be displayed to their fans as well as soon as they interact with it. So this is a nice strategy to get in touch with other people as well. Organically, people just share our content, and of course we can pay Facebook to reach more people. And that's what we can see here. This promotion made sure, or actually worked in a nice way, that we somehow reached 140 people that we haven't reached in the past before. Now, of course, we hope that these people somehow even just interact or engage with our content, or they actually like it and like our page as well. That's what we want. Okay, so there's something else that we can use to influence friends of our fans, and that's called Facebook Offers. Facebook Offers is something that you can have if you have 400 likes. I actually think they reduced this limit to, I think, 100. You will see this right next to your where you create new folders, or you upload new photos, or create a new poster. You will see something like Milestones Offers. What this does, it's completely free, but you can create a voucher system. And for example, say as we see here, and this is a deal character: buy 5 sessions stand-up paddling boarding for only $105 and save $45. You can say how many people can claim this voucher. You can actually say how long it is available. You can say when they have to redeem it. And it's up to you what you want to put in there. You can say do it today, or print this voucher, claim this voucher, and if you check in, you can ask for a free update. Or you can say print this voucher, and if you book with us, you get a free gift, for example a bottle of champagne, or a glass of champagne, or a free photo, or whatever you want to actually offer. So this is something that is the first time on Facebook actually which tries to increase the sales process for you. It is connected to buying something. They have to buy your product, or at least something of it, to redeem this voucher, to have the benefit out of this. So you can do this and create your own little voucher system, and you can put it on Facebook, and it's like a post, and as soon as people claim this voucher, it's an interaction, and their friends will be notified. Not all of them, but a few of them will be notified that person A has claimed a voucher from you. And if it's a good voucher, and if it's very interesting, of course I see this, so, oh, I want this voucher as well. And it works quite simple. I click a button if they claim this voucher, and Facebook actually just sends me an email with all the instructions that you get Facebook beforehand. You can even attach a QR code to this voucher if it's easier for scanning, or a simple a scan code that you may have available. It's a very nice tool to get that out and to give something away, and that people start sharing this voucher on their Facebook newsfeeds and walls. And this is another way how you can actually reach your fans, and because they interact with that, you reach their friends, and that's what we want. That's nice, a nice tool. Have a think about it. See if you can actually offer anything, and have a play and see if that's worth it for you or not. Okay, we're almost through, which is good. And here are a few resources that are good to use or good to read. Facebook actually gives you a lot of resources and case studies to give you a nice introduction in terms of how does everything works on Facebook. Yeah, there's Facebook for Business, where you find a lot of stuff about what to do or how to work with Facebook from a business perspective. You will have guidelines. They talk about what you can do with Facebook in terms of promotions or not. What are you allowed to or not? For example, you cannot use their features for a promotion. You can only say the like button is to get access to a competition, but you cannot use a like button to draw a winner, for example. That is important to understand. Anything, as soon as you do promotions on Facebook, make sure you follow the guidelines. Otherwise, you will get notified, or in the worst case, your page might be get down. And there's also a nice tool about Facebook ads, or a user guide to create ads, which is good to have, especially if you're interested in doing more with Facebook ads in the future. And there's also a nice guide in terms of how to measure success with Facebook. You effectively just can search on Google for it, and these PDFs will pop up straight away. Okay, and if you have any questions in the future about Facebook, especially Facebook ads, or you want to see how this works and you need a demonstration, I'm happy to do that. Susan and Jane as well. Feel free to give us a call if you have more questions down the track, or anything else you want to talk about in terms of digital marketing. We are here. This is our digital coach hotline, and you can also reach us using our email, digitalcoach@tq.com.au. More information about our program and further webinars or past webinars and our videos is something you can find on our website down here, www.tq.com.au/digital ready. This has recently been updated, so you will find the first 4 webinars that we had in the past on there already. Okay, we have a bit of time. So we have, I think, kind of 15 minutes or 10 minutes. If you have any questions, please use the question panel, and I will try to answer this question right here. Okay, I see there's already a question on here. Ah, we have a couple. That's great. One second. Here we go. So, Nicole, you had one question. When people check into your page, yes, does this go viral? Yes, it does. So that is something exactly right. We have that in another webinar as well. You want to check that people check into your place on Facebook, because that will be is something like a click or a like or a share button. Check-in works as well. Other people see that someone has checked into your place. Ideally, including a picture. So if they take a picture of your product and they check in with that picture, that is something you would try to engage or motivate your customers. It has a second thought here. Facebook is working hardly on connecting information. So if people search, for example, if I search for, I can search for show all my friends who take or took a photo in Cairns, and Facebook will display all the photos of my friends that they have taken in Cairns. So I can make my mind and I can make a decision. I can do research on Facebook based on where people checked in, where people have been, where people have actually taken a photo. So if you can motivate people to check in and include a picture, and if people further down the track search or use Facebook to do research for travel, this will come up. I even can search for where did people check in Cairns. So I can find out what is the favorite coffee place in Cairns of my friends. So yep, that is something you certainly want to support and motivate. Okay, we have another question here. 1 second. Okay, Kathy, I think I understand what you mean. So your question is, can you explain what you get with advertising when you have 5,000 likes? Okay, that's a good question. If you already have a good number of likes, for example 5,000, of course you can go for more if you think that has a benefit. But Facebook ads has two different characters. One is getting more likes, generating more fans, and the other one is promoting stories. That's called sponsored story. You can publish your content to a bigger audience through Facebook ads, which it does. You effectively use one of your contents that worked really well, and you use this content as an ad. It appears as an ad, but people sometimes don't really realize that it is an ad. They see it's suggested, but it's effectively content, and this content has a social character because it displays all the likes, comments, and shares connected as well. So that is something you can do. Especially if you want to, if this can have a nice branding character. So you can even say, I'm not after the like itself anymore, but I want to do it in a branding perspective. You can go for the impression. The impression is, for example, always in they count in 1,000. To have an impression to 1,000 people, you probably pay something between, I would say, they're asking me for my passwords again. What is happening here? Sorry guys, I think my screen sharing just stopped. Okay, back to what I said. The second way you can do it is to go for an impression. And this impression is you reach many more people, much more people than just a like. It doesn't mean that they actually engage with the content, but you can reach a lot of people, and that works well for a branding perspective. You can use that with just your brand, just for your page, or you use a sponsored story, a post that you have created on Facebook before that where you say had a good effect or went viral. That's the other way you can do, and that has the impact that people will share your content much more, that you will get more simple likes or single likes on a specific post, especially if you create a competition or a draw or a prize or anything else. Or I would try to reach more people, not for the like, but to promote this competition and display that a couple of times to the same people for a couple of days or weeks, which might be quite cheap, be honest, because you only pay per impression, which is like 30 cents for 1,000 people. That could be a nice way to display more content to a bigger audience, that you have reached before. I hope that answered your question. Let me know if you have another question to that. Okay, another question here from Nicole. Does check-in prompt them to like your page also? Not directly. It is only a link to your page. So people say, I've checked into the motel in Vision Beach, and the business name of that page, the page name will come up as a link. So people will talk about with their friends why they checked in and what they did or what's happening. And that link in the original post is still there. So people need to click on that link first to see your business page or your Facebook page. So there's not a direct link connected to a check-in, a direct like button connected to a check-in. Is that answering your question, Nicole? Excellent. Okay, do we have any more questions? Okay, seems like there are no further questions. That's good. If you have more interest in Facebook ads, we did have a webinar only for Facebook ads where we actually explained specifically how it can work for you. And yeah, have a look on that and see what else you can do with it, how good you can target an audience, which is very targeted and very efficient, if you want to go for that. Otherwise, we have more social media workshops coming up in the future, and feel free to join. My colleague Jane and Susan are back on the webinars for next Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a better understanding of how to use Facebook from a business perspective and how to get the most out of it. If you follow those 4 steps in terms of work on your Facebook page itself first, make sure you have some phase, have a strategy and content in place that is engaging, and use Facebook ads or apps to engage your audience, and then in the end promote whatever you have to more people that you have reached before. You will see some good results. We have worked with a couple of our operators with that before, and we see that they even get not just a lot of likes or engagement, they also get bookings through Facebook already after a while. So this can be a very, very nice tool to talk to people that you haven't reached before, even for direct bookings. Okay, that should be all for today. I don't see any further questions. Otherwise, if you have another question coming up down the track in the next days or weeks, feel free to contact us. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed our webinar today, and I talk to you next week, and I just wish you a happy and a good day today. Okay, excellent. Bye, and talk to you soon.